Greetings, folks. Daniel Wickwire here, and welcome back to Kaiju Movie Review. This time, I'm joined not by my ever-loyal co-host, Mr. Zach, but by my beautiful wife, Angela, because Mr. Zach is out with illness.
See, he's not ever loyal now.
No, he's not. He's just... Well, that's not nothing to being loyal. I mean, illness strikes. He's lazy, but... he's gonna watch. He's like, what'd you say about me? And I assure you, this time... my wife will not put me into a shipping crate, send me to Japan for reptile research. I don't think that's the way you're supposed to say it. But if there's any herpetologists that watch this, please by all means correct us. But we're gonna do a normal. My wife will go ahead and just be in Zach's place and be something much nicer to look at than my brother. So. Go ahead, dear, with your...
But nobody can see me.
You get the picture.
Well...
It's the picture.
Yeah.
I'm just going to fill the screen with pictures of you.
Please don't.
Okay.
Please.
Alright, well, she's going to start off with her bit of kaiju-related news, which is all very thematic this week, because of a certain movie that came out yesterday, as of this recording, because it's March 11th, and most of you probably already know what that is, but go ahead, dear.
My news is about Kong Skull Island. It grossed $15.5 million on its opening day, Friday.
The 10th.
The 10th. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 10th. Carry on.
I don't know what day it is. Remember, I worked.
I only remember because that's when it came out. If it was any other movie, like that, don't know.
It received a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter. So that means you should go see it.
Yeah, and hopefully it goes up and not the other way. Which I'm assuming it'll go up. You know, those first initial reviews and everything. But that's based on critics, not users. Or
got a 76% on audience rating.
Yeah, audience rating. That's the word I was looking for. Yep. So, hopefully it holds out. I'm sure it will. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. Of course, we haven't seen it yet because...
we have kids.
Yes, we have kids and no time. I don't like making everybody watch them. And jobs. It sucks. Anyway, money, commerce.
Stupid money.
But yeah, go check it out. It'll be a good movie.
Who needs money?
You said what?
I said, who needs money?
I thought you said Hootie's money.
Hootie! Hootie-hoo!
Hootie and the Blowfish. We can make that reference, right? That's obscure enough at this point. Anyway, my bit of news for the week is also pertaining to Kong Skull Island, but it's actually a comic that's being released. It's supposed to act as a prequel and a sequel to the film. It's called Skull Island, Birth of Kong. It's going to be a 4-part series, or 4-issue series. It will be released on April 5th, and as for right now, that's pretty much all the information we have. I didn't see which company is going to be releasing it. I'm assuming it'll probably be IDW, because they did the Pacific Rim prequel comic, and I believe the Godzilla prequel comic as well. I might be wrong about that, so by all means, in the comment below, correct me, but I'm pretty sure they're the ones that did it. So, always nice to see them continuing the trend with this movie. But now that our short news segment is done, since everything's been about Kong, and I didn't want to talk about the one Kong in Vietnam that caught on fire, because I'm sure everybody saw that. If not, check out the Kaiju Movie Review Facebook page. It's on there, or just look it up on the internet. So, plug away. But today, we're going to be talking about a movie that's likely nowhere near as good as the one that just came out yesterday. We're going to be talking about the monster from a prehistoric planet, a.k.a. Gappa, the Triphibian monster, a.k.a. Daikyoju Gappa.
A.k.a. lots of explosions where there need not be.
Yep, there are a lot of explosions in this movie. It's not even to the point that it's funny. Like my son I could hear him screaming from his room, so it's like I know. It's relevant. We're talking about Kong, jungle folk, I don't know. Whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about, so... The movie was released on April 22nd, 1967 in Japan. It was released by Nakatsu, which I should mention that because this is their one and only kaiju film. And it's kind of because the film pretty much bankrupted them afterwards. So I probably wouldn't make another one either. But anyway, that's beside the point. There was no U.S. theatrical release of this film. It was released as a TV movie, and spoiler, rightfully so. It was released by AIP, American International Productions. Of course, they released a ton of old kaiju films. One always jumps to mind for me is, of course, Destroy All Monsters, but they did a lot of different stuff. The runtime is said to be 81 minutes, but the one I watched was 90. And the one we watched, we watched it together. We watched it twice. I saw it twice.
You didn't have to watch it again.
I watch most. It's a kaiju movie. I'm gonna watch it anyway. But anyhow,
too long.
I know. We're like tearing to people. Like people are gonna watch the rest of it now. Like, well, we already know it's terrible, or we already know your opinion on it. So, anyway, it says it's a 81 minutes, but the movie we watched was 90 minutes long. The runtime was an hour and a half. So the movie opens up with a expedition sent by Playmate magazine. And I promise it's not a pornographic company. That's just what the magazine company's called. And they sent an exhibition, as I said, expedition, not exhibition, because that's different. No, I'm really making this sound like it's an adult thing. But they sent an expedition to the South Seas to locate and capture obscure animals and all other forms of wildlife, flowers, since I can't talk, and to fill their new little island resort called Playmate Land, or Playmate Island, which I'm assuming is full of naked women, or men, whatever you're into. But I'm assuming that's not the case. The expedition consists of scientists and various reporters, but during the boat ride over, one of the crew member, who I don't believe is either, I don't think he's a scientist or a reporter, I think he's just a hand that goes along with. He's our comedic relief that is in the movie like twice to make really strange noises and kind of moves on with his life. But he says he hooks a monster while he's fishing, because he's like fishing and then like lights turn on underneath the water, like a car is sunk in the water. But, it's a monster. And of course, he goes to tell everybody, like, look, the monster, like, it's still going to be there. They're in a boat that's moving. It's not stationary. Well, anyway, nobody believes it was a monster. He can't prove it, yada, yada, whatever. He's the bumbling oaf. Nobody's going to believe him. Yes, he is the Gilligan, but it wasn't a 3-hour tour, not by a long shot.
Just an hour and a half.
Well, even then it was too long. The boat docks off a little volcanic island named Obelisk. The island natives happily greet these Japanese researchers and photographers. Reporters, that's the word I'm thinking of. But there's a photographer, because the lady's a photographer. They happily greet them because apparently there was another team that came and they were supposed to come back, and apparently they did good for them, something, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Two of the members of that team, which was one of the photographers and the reporter, go off to look for a monster that some of the islanders had mentioned called Gappa, which they assume is some kind of god or deity, but they clipped them up and said, no, it's not. So they're like, whatever. Crazy island people, they don't know. While they're exploring the island, they discover a lake underground, which is somehow under a volcano, which doesn't make any sense at all.
That's constantly erupting.
Constantly erupting. But maybe it's just on the cool side. I don't know. Like, maybe the lava comes in at like an angle, and there's like whatever. It's a movie. I'll just leave it at that. Well, while they're underground, they discover a giant egg. Little seismic event happens. Egg hits a rock, cracks open. The rest of the team finds them. They say, hey, we found a big egg. But when they come back, the egg had opened up, and there was a baby inside. I didn't even mention the kid. You don't have to. He's throwaway. I forgot to mention the cast at the beginning, so I'll have to go back and mention that.
He's not throwaway. He's there through the whole movie.
He sucks. He's annoying. All he says is, Gappa mad. Don't make Gappa mad, bro. Don't make Gappa mad. Better take the baby back. Gappa mad. That's all he says the entire fucking movie.
Take that baby back.
I know. You can't be stealing babies, bro. You can't be stealing babies. Not in this neighborhood. Shoot. I had to leave that in. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, so the baby Gappa is taken off the island despite the islanders' pleas against it, like explicitly against it.
They're not very mad about it either. Like, they drag it out in a cave, like, dude, Gappa's gonna be mad, man. They're just like, we're just gonna take it. You want us to give it back? And like, nobody says anything. They're not, and they're still partying and having a festival. You figure they'd be like livid. Like, you're gonna kill us. They think we are going to die.
Oh.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, good.
I thought the recording stopped. Like, the computer went to sleep mode. But anyway, they literally said, like, okay, Gappa's going to be mad and kill us, but you just go ahead and take the baby.
Yeah, like, nobody tries to stop them.
I know.
They just keep talking, like, don't take it, don't take it.
It'd be like hot, like, and they're protecting themselves. They would spear them or eat them, not to stereotype, because they're cannibals, but, but anyway.
They never once used their...
Spears?
Any weapons, really.
Well, they all partied there.
They never really use them. They're like partying because they think that these people are here to save them.
I know, and they're just...
But no.
Nope.
They're here to steal babies.
Of course, stealing babies. Go ahead.
After returning to the mainland, Playmate CEO plans to use the infant as a publicity stunt. And he does. I don't know how successful his publicity stunt was.
Well, I don't know if the magazine ever got published, because I don't remember if they ever mentioned that in the movie.
Well, they show the...
Oh, yeah, they did publish the magazine. Yeah, it was a big thing. They had to see. You're like, oh, it's one of these magazines with this ugly-ass baby on the front. Damn, that's an ugly-ass baby.
Anyways, back on Obelisk Island, the two adult Gappa who look extremely alike, except for Daddy.
Has a man
has
beard.
A beard.
We'll talk about the beard more later, because I have things to say about the beard.
They destroy the village and swim to Japan looking for their baby. Scientists run tests on the baby as the baby rapidly grows larger. The parents make landfall and demonstrate their ability to fly, which is really good.
Yeah, and that explains the other title, Gappa the Triphibian, which is not a proper scientific term, I'd like to state. Also, outside of that, once they make the landfall, they start breaking stuff, and if you want to see what happens to both Gappa, or the two adult Gappa, because male and female, all that fun stuff, baby, that's how babies are made. Where babies come from? But anyway.
We'll talk about that when you're
when you're older. The birds and the bees. I don't want to have to explain somebody that in this podcast. But anyway, if you want to see know what happens in the rest of the film, you just have to go watch it yourself. Alright, now on to the best part, the visual effects and the monster design. Before I do that, though, I completely neglected to mention the cast at the beginning of this movie because of my opinions of the actual acting cast. And it's not the actors themselves. I think it more had to do... I think, actually, I'm 100% positive it had everything to do with the dub. That was the entire thing. It was directed by Haruyasu Noguchi, produced by Hideo Koi, screenplay by Iwao Yamazaki, Ryozu Nakaishi. Story was apparently by Akira Watanabe, and more on him a little bit later. And I'm really going to fail to mention the acting cast. I'm sure there are other stuff, and not to neglect them, but as I said, the dub in this movie it's just not good. But anyway, we're talking about the monsters first and not that. We'll talk about that later. This actually brought up a point. We were watching the movie, and some of the stuff I missed the first time, so I'm glad I actually watched it again. The effects as a whole were, of course, done to a budget, because it's Nikatsu, and I'm not even familiar with their work. They're obviously not Toho. It's probably similar to Dai Gamera film. It is. I mean, it's a lot like the Gamera films, because Dai did. We just reviewed that not long ago. What was that movie? Daimaji, and that was great visual effects. That was wonderful, top notch for its time, of course. But it was more like a Gamera movie. Of course, it was done to a budget, and you can see that in the costume design and some of the effects. But they did have a lot of interesting shots, like that little lighting effect on the horizon. Remember, it was like the strobes when they came out of the water. The water, and not the first time. It's when you see them in the bay. And they did have some interesting effects shots, and they were actually pretty good. Honestly, they're a really good part of the movie for me. And there were some little bits of effects work that I really like, and we should mention Akira Watanabe again, because Watanabe again. Sorry, I want to throw that N in there for some reason. The other N in there for some reason. But he actually used to work for Toho, and you can really see that. Just like the tank rounds. I see a lot of films, kaiju films, especially the earlier Toho ones. They'll be represented by rockets sometimes, where they look like bottle rockets and they bounce off of them. But these are like genuine shells hit, explode, and that looks really good. And like when they do the flight with the Gappa, it literally the people are still in the suit, but you could obviously tell it's a wiring hoist or a hoist that's lifting them up, but it's done very seamlessly in some of the shots, and it actually looks really good. So they did really good on some of the minor points, if that makes any sense. Like, obviously they can only do so much with the overall quality of the effects. Like, the buildings and stuff look good. The miniatures are usually pretty solid. I thought how the jets were pretty good too. I mean, it was good. It was good all around. There was a shot that looked really similar to a Godzilla when the Gappa used their heat ray or atomic ray, which is of course a complete ripoff of Godzilla in design, function, and color. But we won't specifically go into that. But there's a shot of a tank melting. It reminded me a lot of when Godzilla came out of the iceberg and attacked the army base in King Kong vs. Godzilla, which is also relevant because we talked about King Kong earlier today. So we're just bringing that full circle, ain't we? it's either full circle or we're just overdoing it for the sake of overdoing it. But yeah, there are some. What about you, wife? What do you think?
I don't know. I like the details of the costumes, and except for some of the rays out of the mouth were a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's down to the limitations of a movement of a dude in a suit. Because where the beams is like straight and like goes like straight up, and it's that neck doesn't even move. Like, what happened? It's like a separate organ, and there's like channeling it.
But you do, like, on the close-ups of their faces, you do see, like, they have tongues, and they have,
their eyes move.
They do, yeah, their eyes move, and, they have bird beaks. They have bird tongues. Yep,
which works because they're, like, reptilian and stuff. But we'll talk about that when we actually talk about the design. No, you're fine. No, you're good. We'll go into detail about it. I do that. We prattle on, and we sometimes bleed over to another subject, but no, the effects are good.
I did like the effects. They were.
I will say the effects quality, like, the budget's probably the same, but a lot of the little stuff, like the execution, was a lot better than the KMR films. A lot of the ones I've seen. Again, it's all down to your, effects director and how well they worked and your effects team. So they did good. They did good with the money they had. I will say that as a high point for this film.
You definitely could tell when they were shooting during the day and trying to make it look like they were shooting at night.
Well, yeah, we'll need to talk about that later, the quality of the film we actually watched. But the monster design is interesting.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if they have sexual dimorphism in the Gappa, which, for those of you that don't know, sexual dimorphism is physical differences, or generally it's physical characteristics that are different from one gender to another to differentiate them. And since, of course, we can't slap boobs on everybody, and reptiles don't necessarily have that, the male has a beard, which I'm going to say words about in a minute, and as a more predominant crest on its head, which is true. There's beard turkeys. They get the beard and stuff.
But this was hair beard.
But yeah, I know. It looks. This is my comment I got. It looks like somebody either glued a toupee to his neck or slapped some pubes on his neck. So I know that's not appropriate. We're probably killing our rating. We talk about this all the time on iTunes. We're going to slightly. We're very quickly drifting away from the appropriate from all ages. Appropriate for all ages.
You're not appropriate for all ages.
I'm not appropriate for all ages. But it literally looks like that, and the video quality we watched, it couldn't be helped because
it was pretty bad.
The movie we watched it was not of the best quality, and there is one, and again we'll elaborate on this later. There is a good quality release in the States, but it's just not very common. But the designs were all right. I mean, the baby was ugly.
Yeah.
The baby was very ugly, but I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, Minya's the same way. Minya's butt ugly. I actually want to think when the baby hatched from the egg, like it had all the residue from the egg, like the remainder of like the yolk and the, what do they call that? I don't know. I can't think of the term, but you know what I mean. All the mucus and the membrane. There was some of that, and that was cool. I mean, it's something they didn't have to add, but it was just little things, like I said, that add to it. Okay, so film pricing and availability. So my Angel's gonna go first. What did you find on the eBay?
When I searched up Monster from Prehistoric Planet, it came up 99 cents to about $8.29. And then when I searched up Gappa the Triphibian Monster, it was quite a bit more expensive, upwards of $48.
And I had the same on Amazon. Of course, you could get remember when you're looking this up, it will have either name. Gappa the Triphibian is more in line with the Japanese title, and the Monster from the Prehistoric Planet is just some crap that was added to the English version, even though they never mention this creature coming from another planet. They rarely mention anything about it being prehistoric. That, like, one time in the movie is it ever mentioned, and it's down to the dub again, but that'll be brought up also later. But depending on which one you search, either Gappa or Monster from Prehistoric Planet, it's going to range between $2 and $48 that I found. And the reason there's so much range, is most of the copies of this movie are very inexpensive. It's generally between $2 to $15. The really high-end one we find is not a Japanese copy of the film, but Tokyo Shock. Media Blasters, if you know anything about their releases, they do really high-quality releases, but they're in such a limited production run, and they go out of print real fast, and once they do, the prices shoot through the roof. Well, they released the film, and it has the English dub, Japanese dub with English subtitles, the best quality audio you can get in the United States, and the best quality video you can get in the United States. And the reason I'm saying that is, this will segue into our closing statement / recommendation. This is a public domain film, like a lot of the other, like the Gamera movies and stuff, and a lot of other films like this. Not a lot of films like this, but like Gamera movies. It's just, this is what it feels like a Gamera movie. I know it was released by an entirely different company, but that's what it feels like. You can watch this anywhere. I watched it online. I've probably got it in a disc collection of 20 best monster movies or whatever downstairs. It's public domain. You can watch it anywhere. And that's why I mentioned the video quality. With the Tokyo Shock version, you get a very good quality. And I would love to see that version. And I would love to see a Blu-ray version, but it doesn't exist. And I would hopefully at one point do. It does, because they did it with Yongri, Monster from the Deep. But I really, really doubt it'll happen. So, wife, yes, dear, love of my life, what...
Suck up.
Of course. What do you think of this movie, and would you recommend it to anybody?
I will say one thing. I don't know if it's just the translation or what, but they are very sexist.
It is an incredibly sexist movie. Like, laughably sexist.
Like, I won't say what he said, but it's very rude.
And she just follows along with it. Not to spoil, we're going to say, but later in the movie, after what we mentioned, it's just, I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
Don't prey on her lack of self-esteem.
I know. Quick, get her when she's down in the dumps.
And then he just smiles about it. Like it's no big deal. And I think they could have redesigned the monsters and made them better. I feel like the people in the costumes had a hard time walking just because of the way it was designed.
The wings are probably really heavy.
Yeah, probably. They were probably more solid than anything. It just looked like they had a hard time walking.
Well, since the wings articulated, I don't know if those were moved off the back or not, because those would be really heavy with that ability to do that. Add a lot of weight to the back of the suit.
It just looks too stiff.
Yeah. Oh, they do. They look very stiff. Very. Well, they were, I'm assuming.
No, I would not recommend it, just because about, I don't know, an hour in, I had to pause it because I was losing interest. But that's just me. Somebody else may like it. It may be their favorite movie. It
could be. And that's the wonder of an opinion, right?
Right.
We're not rude about it. We poke fun a little bit, but it's out of love, I promise. And mine's not going to be too far off what she said, but I'm going to give it a slightly different rating of a meh. You can take it or leave it. The movie, it's just, like she said, this mainly boils down to the dub. And I'm sure the Japanese version was better. At the time, I'd read the contemporary reviews said the movie was actually pretty decent for what it was. Of course, most more modern reviews hate on it pretty viciously, which I don't blame them. But none of the characters are interesting. They're all boring, or they're hateful, or they're just genuinely terrible people. Like, the woman is trying to be independent, but then it's like, I don't want to be independent. I just want to not be a photographer and stay home and take care of babies and marry an officer and wash diapers. Such crap. And the main character is an asshole. The main scientist dude is an asshole. The dude who runs the company is an asshole. It's just, I don't know. I mean, like I said, the effect shots with the monsters are pretty neat, but and they're in there. But you got to wait a good half an hour, 45 minutes in the movie before you really see anything tangible of the monsters. And there's no anything else happening. The plot's just kind of there to be there. And again, could boil down to the translation. I'm sure there was a lot that was altered. Most older dubs tend to be that way. Oh, the biggest killer of mine. Whenever the monsters are doing something and attacking, there's no music. There's no music at all. It's so distracting. And I don't know. Again, I don't know if this was just the version we had, if this was the English version, because all the other music's intact, but all the other music has terrible audio quality. It's either terrible audio quality. Again, this isn't like it's audio quality compared to the bad audio that already exists. And it's like, one's worse than the other, which, again, being a public domain film you're watching for free, you don't expect the world. I mean, the whole movie looks like they rub Vaseline on the lens and everything's got a blur to it. But that's fine. It was watchable. I could see most of it except for like stuff at night. It was a little hard to see. But there is a clear problem between the music and the actual speech audio and sound effects. And then what was the other thing? And then
you only ever hear music like one time other than in the beginning.
Yeah. And then what was the other thing?
And it's like it doesn't fit with what's going on.
You hear it at the very end too, with the sad music or whatever.
But yeah,
that's it.
But it doesn't fit with what's happening.
No, it doesn't.
Movie.
Nothing. And like I said, even when there's monsters destroyed, there's nothing. It's weird. It's like if you're anything like us, and a lot of people I seem to talk to, when you sleep at night, you want a fan on because you want white noise, but there's no noise at all. So it's really annoying. It's like you're so used to having some kind of audio coming in, background noise, anything, and it's just not there.
Even if it's something just somber in the background, like it doesn't even have to. It helps build the
atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere. Yeah. I mean, it helps build what's happening.
Exactly.
Like what you're watching.
And it's not like the audio cut out, because you can still hear the monsters move around. You hear them shuffle their feet and stuff every once in a while and those. And it's not an audio cut. I know it is not. They've not actually removed the audio. It's just not there.
Because you can really see when they've cut whatever. You can see and hear.
Yeah. There's a clear transition.
Yeah, there's a clear transition.
But that's my main gripe about this movie. Is the dub and the audio. And also there's times when the audio is just loud as shit. Like, I mean, it's really loud. And I mean,
especially some of the explosions. Sometimes I found myself looking for the audio just to turn it down.
There's no consistency in the audio. But I will say the effects is the best part of this movie. If you watch it for the effects. If you have no interest in special effects in these movies, which, again, I don't know why you'd watch it if you didn't. But if you have no interest in that, just don't watch it. I mean, even if it's free, it literally just go on YouTube or whatever, watch it for free. I don't know. I'm just kind of meh about it. I don't want to say no, but I don't really want to recommend it to anybody either.
It's not something I would rewatch.
No, I watched it. I will say the second time I watched it, I did pick up on some stuff I mentioned the first time, but that's pretty much when you watch any movie. And I have seen this movie before, but I don't go out of my way to watch it. It was never a big one for me. Oh, it's also like a carbon copy, blatant, top to bottom ripoff of Gorgo, which is, I think, we may not have talked about yet, but we will if we haven't. It's a good movie, 1961, much better than this. And with all that being said, we're going to start making our way out the door, and by out the door, I mean we're going to go sit on the couch, because it's just right next to the computer over here. But, dear, since you don't normally do this, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to mention?
Nope, I'm just the editor.
Okay.
Nope,
she's just the editor.
Oh, well, no, I'll say what I was told to say. Go check out the Facebook page. No, go check out the Facebook page. No, you told me.
That sounds really demanding when I say
You
told.
are demanding.
I'm not demanding.
You are a demanding diva. No,
I'm just a diva all the time. Anyway, of course, you can catch me and normally Zach, and of course, Angela will appear hopefully more in the future, every 2 weeks here on Kaiju Movie Review, where we review a random kaiju monster movie, whatever we feel like, because we can, and we like talking about this kind of stuff. And of course, in between those weeks, I do Monster Bites, which is a factual trivia-ish kind of show. It covers information.
Useless knowledge.
It's useless knowledge. There you go. Useless knowledge about various kaiju and monster movies and all sorts, or kaiju and monsters in all sorts of genres. I can't talk tonight for some reason. But you can check us out here, of course. I will put links in the description below for the Kaiju Movie Review YouTube channel, my Twitter account, my wife's Twitter account, and the Facebook page. You can keep up with us in one of those areas to see what's going on. And if you guys have seen this movie yourself or have any questions regarding this movie, please put in the comments below. We like to interact with you guys. We like to know what you think. And it helps us build a better show for you. And we just like talking to people because you can only talk so much through here without getting asked questions. And with that being said, dear, why don't you go ahead and let us know what movie we'll be talking about in 2 weeks.
Well, ironically, the next movie has a lot to do, well, maybe not so much, to do with the movie we just reviewed. It's Gorgo.
Oh, so we made that reference about Gorgo. I actually didn't even know that until, well, now. But it's like with the Kong thing we did earlier. This is all about segues. This whole episode's nothing but a big segue. But yeah, we'll be talking about Gorgo next time. That's good. We can bridge into this one, which copied Gorgo, and then we can talk about what we think about that movie. So.
Yeah.
But there you go. You guys take care. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks.